But why is homosexuality forbidden in different religions, and what irreparable effects does it have on one's soul and psyche? Join us in this video to explain homosexuality from a psychological point of view and the point of view of different religions, especially the religion of Islam. Hello there, lovely friends. I hope you're doing well. Please subscribe to our channel before watching this video, and click the bell button to be notified of new videos. Please like and share this video to show your support. One act afflicting some people is homosexuality, which means satisfying sexual desire with another human being of the same sex. This practice exists in some men and women, which in men is called sodomy, and in women, it is called fornication. Homosexuality is the romantic desire, sexual desire, or sexual behavior of homosexuals. Scientists do not know the exact cause of the formation of sexual orientation but believe that it is affected by a complex interaction of genetic, hormonal, and environmental factors. Some scientists state that sexual orientation is not voluntary. Western scientists believe that homosexuality is one of the common and natural variations in the spectrum of human sexual behaviors, and does not alone and inherently cause adverse effects on a person's psyche. Since the 1970s, medical and psychiatric authorities worldwide have officially removed homosexuality from the list of mental illnesses. According to studies in different communities, between 2% and 13% of people in the community have experienced some form of sexual contact with a homosexual during their lifetime. But they are estimating the number of people identified as gay is difficult for researchers for various reasons. But what are the causes of homosexuality? There are various reasons for homosexuality, but this incidence leading and the definitive cause has not been discovered. Research shows that factors such as genetics, biological, environmental, emotional, and childhood memories are very influential in forming sexual orientation. Sometimes the way parents treat their children, the lack of care for gay children, and how they socialize and sleep together at home may be factors. Sometimes the pointless jokes made among boys or girls about their homosexuality motivate them to be drawn to these deviations. Homosexual and bisexual behaviors have been observed in 1,500 species of animals, from mammals to crabs and worms, but the actual number is thought to be much higher. Homosexual behaviors are more common, especially in herd animals with complex group life, and play a significant role in their lives. What are the psychological problems of homosexuality for people? Homosexuality has devastating effects on the human body and even the nervous system. It deprives a man of being a perfect man and a woman of an ideal woman. Such gay men and women become severely sexually weak, and unable to be good parents to their future children, and sometimes have the power to produce children, are completely lost. Homosexuals become increasingly isolated and alienated from society and alienated from themselves and experience deep psychological turmoil. They may develop a variety of physical and mental illnesses if they do not correct themselves. Depression, anxiety, and mood disorders, as well as substance abuse, are all possible outcomes. It's also induced by social pressures and the prejudice and violence that homosexuals confront in society, solely because of their sexual orientation. In recent years, the LGBT movement has grown significantly. In different countries and civilizations, the necessity of such struggles differs. Same-sex couples now have full marriage rights in the Netherlands and Belgium. Same-sex marriage was allowed in 3 Canadian provinces in 2003. In addition, also is legal in France, Germany, Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Iceland, and some U.S. states, resulting in the same support and duties as traditional marriage. What physical ailments may homosexuals be exposed to? Regarding sex between men and women, AIDS, gonorrhea, syphilis, and anal warts are present in those with sex, especially men. Hepatitis C is transmitted faster in men who have anal intercourse with a man infected with HIV than in other groups. According to medical evidence, many sexually transmitted illnesses are transmitted through the anus. Many individuals believe that anal intercourse is risk-free, however, because the anus contains a lot of bacteria. It is easier to transmit viruses like AIDS and other diseases. Washing does not kill these bacteria. According to statistics, 1 out of every 20 gay males is infected with HIV. Breast cancer, obesity, alcohol usage, and smoking have the highest prevalence among lesbians of all groups of women, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. But what do religions think about homosexuality? Islam forbids men and women from having homosexual relationships. Such a connection is considered unnatural and out of the ordinary in Islam. In Islamic vocabulary, the term homosexuality does not exist. Still, the term lavat, which refers to sexual intercourse between 2 men and is taken from the name of an ethnic group known as the Lat tribe in the Quran, comes closest. In several passages, the Quran narrates the account of Lot and his people and interprets their deeds, such as prostitution, excess, crime, oppression, malice, ignorance, and immorality. Do you covet males of all creatures and desert the spouses that God has provided for you? God asks in the Quran, "You are, without a doubt, an oppressive people." This verse reminds Muslims that Prophet Lot was commissioned by God to forbid people from committing homosexuality between men and women. In the case of the people of Lot, their contamination with this sin was due to their stinginess. And because their cities were on the way to the caravans of Shem, and they did not want to receive guests or passers-by, they pretended to rape at first. Have a rape with them. To keep guests and passers-by away, this act gradually became a habit for them, and sexual perversion tendencies gradually awoke in them, and their work progressed to the point where they were fully immersed in this act. Other heinous and shameful acts have been recounted alongside sexual perversion in Islamic narrations and histories. According to legend, the people of Lot's assemblies were full of denials and obscene deeds, obscene prostitutes, and abusive words exchanged with palms on each other. They beat, gambled, and played with children, they threw stones at passers-by, they stripped naked in public, they exposed their private parts. In such a polluted environment, perversion and horror expand on new levels every day, and the ugliness of shameful crimes is essentially erased, and they progress in such a way that nothing is ugly or negative in their eyes. Homosexuality and sodomy, according to Islam, are against nature. Anything contrary to nature has a negative impact on them, adding to their bewilderment and discomfort. The Prophet, or may God bless him and his household and give them peace, said, "On the day of judgment, anyone who has sexual relations with a teenager will be sent into the unclean. For all the world's waters will not purify him, and God will be angry with him, turning him away from his mercy and sending him to hell. What a bad location for ready-made. Then he said, whenever the male sex mingles with the male, the throne of God shakes. In condemnation of sodomy in the Quran, the words of Prophet Lot to his people are,
"Do you go to the male sex among the worlds, and leave the wives that God has created for you? You are a people of aggression." As Imam Sadiq puts it in articulating the thought of the sanctity of sodomy, if intercourse with boys was permitted, males would be needless of women, and this would cut off the human race and lead to a lot of moral and social corruption. There are severe worldly punishments for sodomy and other homosexual partnerships in Islam. Sodomy, which is commonly described as total anal penetration between two men, is punishable by death in Shiite jurisprudence and Iranian law. Placing the penis between the buttocks is punishable by up to 100 lashes and execution in the third or fourth instance. There are severe worldly punishments for sodomy and other homosexual partnerships in Islam. Sodomy, which is commonly described as total anal penetration between two men, is punishable by death in Shiite jurisprudence and Iranian law. Placing the penis between the buttocks is punishable by up to 100 lashes and execution in the third or fourth instance. There are severe worldly punishments for sodomy and other homosexual partnerships in Islam. Sodomy, which is commonly described as total anal penetration between two men, is punishable by death in Shiite jurisprudence and Iranian law. Placing the penis between the buttocks is punishable by up to 100 lashes and execution in the third or fourth instance. What does Judaism think about homosexuality? There was no specific word for homosexuality in Hebrew until the last century. In Judaism, sexual intercourse between homosexuals in the Orthodox religion is unacceptable. But in the other three religions, Reformist, Neo-organizational, and Conservative, homosexuality is accepted as a way of life, and homosexuality is allowed for the rabbinic. How does Christianity deal with homosexuality? Most Christian schools do not reject homosexuality, but they must insist on the sinfulness of homosexual relationships. In the medieval era, churches took a harsh stand against homosexuality, and homosexuality was punishable by death. Pope Francis has been the most outspoken supporter of homosexuals yet. He says, they are also God's children and have the right to be in the same family. No one should abandon them or make their lives difficult. Some churches have recently legalized and sanctified same-sex marriage, including the Anglican Church in Canada, the Church of Mennonites in the Netherlands, a church in Sweden, and churches in Norway and Germany. But what does Zoroastrianism say about homosexuality? Although there is no trace of homosexuality in the Gathas attributed to Zoroaster, homosexuality is explicitly forbidden in the Vedadat section, attributed to Parthians. Sexual intercourse with men in the Avesta is recognized as a sinful act and punishable. If homosexuality is committed against one's will, the penalty is 800 lashes, which is the same as a dog-killing sentence. Both active and passive partners are regarded as demons who are part of the evil creatures, and who will die as demons. Sexual intercourse between an adult and a contented person is permissible in Satanism, and homosexuality is not prohibited. They also believe that same-sex marriage should be legalized. Thank you for watching this video all up to the end. If you enjoyed it, please Please like it and subscribe to receive notifications of new videos by clicking the subscribe button and the bell next to it.